All right, welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the Chupacabra Tutorials channel. I'm your host, Larry, and today we're going to be checking out another piece of software, the HD Video Converter Factory Pro, which is made by WonderFox Software Incorporated, the same folks that made the WonderFox data recovery tools that we were checking out before. And this is a tool that lets you do things like convert nearly any type of video to any other type of video. A tool that is becoming increasingly scarce as a lot of people prefer to just convert things into an MP4 video and not give you a lot of range or options. It also allows you to download videos from different websites. You can do some basic screen recording with this tool, along with a GIF maker that lets you convert video to GIF or photos to GIF, and then some other various tools like making slideshow videos, split screen videos, removing subtitles, and making your own ringtones. What we're mostly going to be checking out here today is the video converter and the GIF maker, because of the different tools, those are probably the ones that I personally would use the most. And we'll just start with the converter videos. And I've got a little folder here called sample videos that I've converted some drone panorama footage into different formats that we can experiment with converting to and from. I've got an M4V file, I've got an AVI file, an MOV file, and then I've got a regular MP4 file that we're going to turn into a meme GIF that you can use on the web. So with that in mind, let's just go ahead and jump into the converter section. So the converter lets you pick a video that you want to convert. So we can just click here, and I'm going to start with, let's just go with the AVI video file, because I feel like a lot of people are going to probably run into an MOV file and an AVI file before they run into an M4V file, but I could be wrong. Let's start with the AVI file. That's a Microsoft file format. And we're going to decide which one of these file formats we want to turn it into. So we could turn it into a standard MP4 file, but let's say for the sake of argument that you're putting together like something for the web, because a lot of people are, you'd probably want to convert it into a WebM video, which is one of the most small compressed video file formats. It used to be, I would recommend people a long time ago would use an FLV file, which is a flash file, which you can actually convert to a SWIF, an FLV, or an F4V file, which is almost completely unheard of in this day and age that anyone would provide you with that support. So I thought that was kind of cool. They also allow you to target specific devices that you want this to be viewed on from different companies. Up here at the top, you can kind of see that here, like Asus, Sony, Amazon, Lenovo, all that good stuff. But we want to just kind of target file types. There's way too many devices anymore, unless you're specifically designing it for use on like a video panel that goes into a specific like company's restaurant or something. Probably not important. So let's experiment with making a WebM video. And then from here, we can kind of play around with different things like where it's going to be saved. I've got mine being saved to a converted videos folder, but you can change that by clicking on this button down here and allow you to browse for a new destination. You can also just open the destination by clicking the little folder icon, which opened in my other screen, and it'll take you to where it thinks that you're going to want to put stuff or where they're going to end up when they're done, so you can grab it the second it's done converting. So we can also go ahead and change different parameters for this WebM video by clicking on the parameter settings button. There's also a lot of quick settings. A lot of this is automatic based upon what the size of the original video is. So it'll try to keep the original size and like frame rate settings, or you can get really picky and you can tell it what you want on the other end. So I know that the default WebM encoder is VP8. I think it goes up to VP9. I don't necessarily know if VP9 is any better than VP8 for compression, but you know, if you look that up, that could probably tell you more about WebM files. And for resolution, I'm going to want to bump that resolution up to 1920 by 1080, because this is capable of not just converting videos, but enlarging videos. For bitrate, it does smart fit, but you can go to variable bitrate mode and lossless to try to make sure that it's a high quality video. You can also just dial up this little knob here at the bottom to make sure that it's the highest quality video possible. And then for frame rate, I'm going to bump that frame rate up to 60. make sure that it's as smooth as possible. I'm not sure what the original frame rate was. It's probably at least 30 on the original converted video. I try to keep them at least 30 that I work with for samples. Aspect ratio is fine doing auto. Deinterlacing isn't something you generally need to do. That's like an older video style thing, like older video types and older video files can be interlaced. They'll view better and be better quality on newer players if you deinterlace them, but this is newer video footage, so I don't have to worry about that. And then I think we could do like a different video region type, but I'm just gonna leave it on auto. So down here under audio, I'm gonna let the encoder be Vorbis because that's the only one that's available for WebM videos. The bitrate will be 128. I'm gonna let that stay automatic for whatever it chose by default. Sample rate of 44,000 is fine. Yeah, that looks good. I'm happy with that. So we'll click that, and then we'll roll ahead and run the converter. It does also take advantage of built-in hardware acceleration. In my case, I have access to NVIDIA hardware acceleration or my Intel processor. It's currently defaulted to my graphics card because the CUDA cores are better for video rendering than the basic CPU. So we'll go ahead and hit run. This should be relatively quick because these aren't terribly long videos. This is only a minute long. It only took about, I don't know, like 6 seconds. Now, I will say one thing, and I hope I can actually turn this off if I use this for my own stuff in the future. One thing I'm not a big fan of is when it completes, it's got a really shrill, piercing noise that it makes, and then it pops up this window to let you know it's done. That's fine. I like it when it lets me know when a job is done. I don't necessarily like more coupons or ads to buy more stuff in my software, but that's a pretty minor gripe. That's about the only thing I don't like about the software is this window done screen and the noise that it makes. So we'll just go ahead and open that folder where our finished video converter is, and let's see how that turned out. Okay, so it looks like it's pretty smooth and works pretty well. And just to put this into context, it does look like it's a lot lower quality than it originally was, but that's because we took what was originally, how much was the AVI? The AVI was 248 megabytes, and it crunched it down to like 3. So that's a pretty significant decrease in the size of this video. And especially considering it kept so much decent quality on the other end, that's the perfect video that you would want when you're trying to compress something down and put it out on the web. That said, if you wanted this to be a little bit better quality, I would probably go through and I would make it not quite so large. In here, I'd probably like let it go down to like 720p or keep the original format so that it wouldn't, try to scale it up so it looks all stretched. Let's go ahead and clear this queue and let's try converting something else. Let's go ahead and convert something to an MP4 video because that's what a lot of people use anymore. And MP4 videos are reasonably efficient in what they do. And we're just going to go ahead and now we're going to grab the MOV file for the drone footage and we're going to open that. And for the most part, we don't need to change too much. I'm going to let it stay at 1920 by 1080. Let's open up our parameter settings. Bitrate, I'm going to let it be smart fit, see what it does. And then I want the frame rate. The resolution can be keep original. The encoder, let's use an H.264 encoder. And then here's my frame rate. Let's go ahead and bump that to the 60 FPS mark. And then I'll let everything else be automatic because for the most part, the automatic settings are going to try to target whatever the original quality settings were for the video before you started to play around with it and convert it. And generally, it's going to shoot for providing you with the highest level of quality automatically without trying to, destroy any of the data when it converts it. So I'm going to hit exit, and now I'm going to go ahead and hit run and see what that does when converting from one big file type to another big file type. And for the most part, this shouldn't be too long because, again, this is a 3-minute video and it's converting to something of the same aspect ratio and roughly the same frame rate. It's just making it a little bit smaller and compressed on the other side. All right, so that's done. Let's see what it looks like. So that's the MOV file converted into an MP4. Let me just make this little video preview a little bit smaller so it doesn't eat up my entire screen. Let's back this up. So that's really smooth. It's really good looking. I don't see any like compression artifacts or any like little blips that you would expect when converting a video over and over and over again, which is a great sign. I originally downloaded these as just some sample footage off the web from some free sources, and then I exported them from Premiere Pro as a different file format than they started into MOV or M4V or whatever, and then we converted them back to MP4, and it still turned out great. So that's excellent to see, and it actually made it a little bit smaller than it originally was when I converted it back to an MP4 video as opposed to the original MOV. So that's great. So the last thing I'll do is let's see how well it handles that M4V file, that M4V Blu-ray file. We'll open that bad boy up. And it looks like it's treating it like a sound file. Oh, it still plays, so that's fine. And we're just going to convert that again to an MP4 file. I'm going to let it just be automatic and we'll see what we get. Whoa, that was really quick. Okay, so let's open that up. That actually scared me a little bit. I think this is also a really short video comparatively. This one probably went so quick because it's only like a 15-second preview clip. But again, converting it from an F4V video, the only thing was you'd have to re-input the audio track because the M4V video type splits the video into 3 different files in order to play, but that's fine. It look, as for the purposes of previewing quality, it looks fine. It looks great. So with that out of the way, let's go ahead and play with the GIF maker. We're going to convert a video to GIF. And we're going to add a video, and I've got this meme video footage right here that I'm going to use. It's this image of like, when you successfully do whatever, it makes you feel like you're in a party, just having the time of your life. I'm sure you're familiar with that joke on the internet. If not, oh well. We're just going to show you this one. It's just this image. We're going to turn this actor dancing in like a nightclub. We're going to turn this into a GIF. So for a good resolution, we're going to knock this down to like 320 because we're going to put this on the web in places like, I don't know, Discord or Slack chat or Stoat, wherever your heart takes you. And then the thing that people don't realize when making GIFs is if you want this to look smooth and to play relatively good speed, you want it to be a lower frame rate rather than a higher frame rate. So if I wanted this to slow down and look like it was running at like a 1/6 its normal speed, I'd probably put this up to 60 frames per second. But you could probably leave it around 10 or 12 and it would look really nice, buttery smooth. And then for the quality, I want this to be high quality output. And it'll save on space because I'm reducing the resolution from a huge 1920 by 1080p down to a 320 by 1080. And then we're just going to go ahead and hit create GIF. This is only a 20-second clip, so even if I was leaving this at full size, this should go relatively fast. Okay, so here we go. Let's click on the image. And here you can see it goes relatively quick. It's at a good pace for playing on the web. And it looks pretty much the exact same as it did in the original video. Funny enough, despite the fact that these red spots look like weird glitchy artifacts that are being generated, those are actually in the original footage if you look here. It's just that when you blow it up, it looks a little bit more glitchy when you try to zoom in and stretch it out. Because here's the red stuff in the background, it's just weird lights in this nightclub. Try to provide a contrast between the blue colors, I'm sure. But yeah, that's our video. It's really easy to convert these into a GIF so that you can share them on the web and they're automatically looping. So that's great. There's not really much else to say about this. We can clear this and add more stuff, or we can use alternate versions of this. Like we can make photos in a slideshow. We can turn those into a GIF, or you can take a series of images exported from a video editor and put them in here to make them into a manual GIF if you want. That, for the most part, is HD Video Converter Factory Pro in a nutshell. The mainstay of what I expect from a video converter, it does fantastically. It converts videos from one type into another. And in the past, I've used video converters for a number of different purposes, including trying to fix broken footage that my video editor wouldn't recognize, but I could somehow play on my computer using VLC Media Player. It does a great job converting, does a great job making GIFs. I did a test recording with the recorder. It records your screen just fine. Do note, though, if you're trying to record something like a video game, you're going to need to either play in windowed mode or you're going to need something else that can do direct capture just to make sure it properly captures everything. Otherwise, if you're just doing like a on-screen tutorial, it works fine. So that'd be it for this one, ladies and gentlemen. I've been your host, Larry. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I will catch you next time. If you're interested, I'll put the links to this software in the description below, and bye.